So thank you for taking the time today. We're going to take a look at mastering checklists in PageProof and some of the other compliance features which are available inside of PageProof. So let's get started. Okay, so here I am on the PageProof dashboard, and I'm going to go to upload a proof. So I'm going to choose a proof from my computer. We're going to grab a file from here, and we go to the familiar PageProof proof setup screen. So of course, as you know, on the left-hand side of the screen, this is all the information about the proof. Then we have the reviewers, and if you haven't seen the PageProof Academy one about workflows, you can watch that. We have that on recording. Just contact our team via the in-app chat in PageProof into customer success, and they'll be able to give you the recording to teach you about workflows. So we'll go down now and take a look at this checklist feature. Now, checklists, if you don't see this panel, have your team administrator turn the feature on in that area of PageProof into the team admin area, and the checklist panel will show up. Now, from here, you can click on the Add Checklist button, and it pops down a menu here showing you the checklist templates that you have available to you. Now, if you are a PageProof for Team subscriber, you will get 2 checklist templates. If you are a PageProof Enterprise subscriber, you get unlimited checklist templates. So that means that you will be able to see a large list here of all the templates. But look, I'm just going to quickly show you what a checklist template looks like. So I'm going to choose the packaging template here. It rolls down a preview of what that checklist template is going to look like. Now, checklists show up when reviewers open the proof. And the idea of a checklist is that your reviewers go through and they are able to check off the items that they have checked on the proof. Now, these checklists are a communal checklist, which means that you can have somebody else check the copy. In this example, you can check the colors, fonts, and logos. Someone else could check the crops, and all of those as a group will add up to all of those checklist items being checked off. So it's a communal checklist, which is a great way of gathering back all those checks on your proofs. Now, you'll notice in here up the top, there is a switch for required for final approval. This is so you can make it that the approve button cannot be pressed until all of the checklist items have been checked off by somebody in your reviewers. So it's a great way of making sure that people have taken responsibility for those checklist items that you see here. And then open on proof load, obvious, it's going to pop up as soon as people open that proof. Now, I will say there is a different style of checklist you can do as well by using the grouping feature. And when you go to the grouping, use the grouping feature, which we'll cover in a moment, you can actually put these checklist items into these groups, which then displays in a slightly different way for people. So you can mix and match in the same checklist between having groups and not, and all these sorts of things. So there are a couple of different templates just showing you the power of the checklists. Now, how do you create these? Well, let me take you to the team admin area. So team administrators can create checklist templates. They simply go up to their menu, come down to team, and then go into team checklists. And this shows the templates over on the left-hand side. So I can see these are the checklist templates that we have already created. And you can create a new one by clicking on the plus or the button in the middle that says new template. So let's go into a little bit of detail about this. Let's create a new template. So click on new template. Up the top, you'll see it's highlighted. Give this a name. So I'm going to say, this is going to be our brand guidelines checklist. And you're also able to give it a description. So I can simply say into here, checklist for our guidelines, and make sure that people, so we can put a nice description in there about exactly what people will use this checklist for. Now you'll notice the 2 defaults here for those settings that we saw in the proofing screen. So I can switch this on and switch this on. These will be the defaults whenever this checklist is used by somebody setting up a proof. Then we get into the checklist items. So right away, I can say add item, and straight away it says, okay, what is the checklist item? You can see it says here, what are we looking at? So I'm going to say, let's look at the copy and paragraphs, paragraph styles, for example. So you can put that in as a checklist item. Down below, you'll notice that there's one here that says add additional information. So sometimes you want to put a description about what this checklist item actually means in detail. So if you click on here, it rolls down this extra text field where you can write a longer description to support that checklist item. So I can say, please check all the copy and make sure the styles are correct. So you can write out this kind of description and then just save that. So there is my very first checklist item for this checklist. So you can keep going through here. If I say add item, I'm going to say colors and logos. I can say in here, please check colors and logo white space, for example, and then add that description as well. Now, I talked earlier about putting these into groups. So you can, again, just click on add item. And then if you want to turn this item into a group, you simply see this icon down here that says convert to group. So if you click convert to group, now you can give it a heading that's going to be for that group. So I'm going to say, for example, this is going to be our brand check, and I'm going to say save. And you'll see now that we have essentially a group and underneath that it says add item. Here's something that's great. This is a great tip. You can drag and drop these items into here. So you can just simply drag and drop these checklist items into that group. And what that does now is it puts them inside the group. You can additionally just keep on adding more and more items to here, so I can continue on and create more and more items for this checklist. And of course, the last one I'm going to put here is we're going to say, print spec, for example, and then just add that one on as well. So you can see we can have groups with items inside of them. You can have items outside of the groups. You can mix and match anything that you like here. So this is how you create your checklist templates, which then can be used in your proof setup screen. Okay. Now, tip number 2, if you created a template and you no longer want to use that template and you've hit your limit of templates inside of your plan, you can go and archive these as well. So all you do inside of here is you hover over, you'll see 3 dots, you can click and you can archive that, and that then takes the template out of your live active templates. And of course, you can go over to this menu over here and you can say, show me the archived ones and bring them back. So you can manage the ones that are active and the ones that are archived for use in your proofs. So let's now take a look at a proof that has a checklist on it. So I'm just going to jump in. Now, I just tapped a button here that popped up a search. So this is a tip. This is outside of checklists. But a lot of people don't know that anywhere you are in PageProof, if you tap the /, it pops up the search and you can jump to different proofs inside of PageProof. Just by tapping that button, I'm going to type in the name of the proofs I want to go to, and that will take us immediately to that proof. So here we are now over into a proof that has a checklist. It's opened up. You'll notice over on the right-hand side, the checklist, because the setting was set to open when the proof opens, there is the checklist popped up in front of us. Now, when I was talking about communal checklists, this is a good example. You can see over here that we have multiple people have checked off this checklist item. So you can have multiple people checking off an item. So that really endorses the fact that that's been checked. And you'll see that even though this has been checked by other people, I can still check it myself. So when I check it, it goes green. When someone else has checked it, it stays that gray color. It's still checked. So this is a great way of getting that communal feel going with your checklists. Now, another tip. Obviously, you can see that that's attached to the bottom of that screen, and sometimes it might be in the way. So what you can do here is that there's an icon at the top that says open a new window. So if you click on that, that will then take the checklist out to a new window, and you're able to go through, and we can just show this now as a separate window in PageProof. All right, so you can go through and make sure that that is doing exactly what you need it to do. Okay, let's carry on with this. So at some point you might say to yourself, hey, I just want to change the settings of the checklist. I've sent the proof out, and maybe you don't want it to open it at the proof load. So if you are the proof owner, you can go to the manage icon, and inside of here, you'll see that there is a checklist setup inside of here. So you can switch off the settings that you may have set on a proof that's already in motion. So you do have the ability to do those controls. You can't change the checklist for a proof that's already been sent out. That has already been set. So just be conscious of that. Now, I'm going to switch over to another proof that we can look at, and this is what happens when we get to the final approver. When you come in and you open up that proof, you'll notice that the approve button is grayed out. And if I hover over that approve item, it says the checklist must be completed before final approval can be given. So nobody can approve this proof. Now, people can go through, and again, communal checklist, whoever it is, we can check off all the items inside of here. And then once that's completed, the approve button lights up. So now the proof can be approved. So that is that switch that we saw that says required for final approval. This is the effect that it has on the checklist. So it's a great way of making sure that we get all of those items checked on here. So some of the use cases that we've heard people talk about. So with checklists, you can obviously have it for checking particular pieces of the proof. So you can guide people to say, we must check the barcode size, or if it's social media, we got to make sure that we have this logo showing or whatever. So you can go through and specify all those elements inside the checklist to make sure those pieces are covered off. And then, of course, if you're in the print world, in this particular case, you're putting in here all of those kind of print guidelines that you would like people to say, hey, look, I've checked all these off. If it's video production, it may be things like, hey, you know, the length of the piece of video, have we got all the keywords for the YouTube channel? All those kinds of things can be checked off inside of here. So the use cases here are huge. So I'll leave it with you when it comes to checklists to be able to dream up the things that you can do with this new feature. When you click on the info icon up the top, if you are the proof owner, you'll see up the very top here, there is a little jagged sort of graph icon. That will take us to the audit. So this is the audit for this particular proof. And what it's showing us here is all of the events that have occurred on this particular proof. And if you click onto it and then hover over it, it'll tell you the exact time and date that that event took place. So this is giving us a summary, and it's giving us a duration here as well for how long these particular set of events took, which is a great way of checking out exactly what's going on. Now, if you are a PageProof Enterprise customer, you can get a full audit view. So this will go into some real detail about the audit, and you can also download this as well. Again, PageProof Enterprise customers can download the audit, and you can store that offline if you need it for compliance reasons. And there's also a checklist view. So this will show you when your checklist events have occurred, so you can see exactly what you need to do inside of there. Now, some of the other things that you can do with the checklists, when you click onto here, you can see it and it gives you the information. So that's great. But also when I go back to the workflow inside of PageProof, so that's going to the info icon, as I look through the workflow that's in play, again, you can see all of the decisions people have made. When you hover over these, it's going to show you exactly when that decision was made, which is, again, useful for compliance. People will say, hey, you know, when did that person send those changes back? You can see exactly when it was. And if you click on the avatar for that person, it'll take you to a summary of when that person made comments. So you can see this reviewer has made 2 comments on this proof. The last one was on this day. And if you click on view comments, what this is going to do is it's going to filter the comment list. So when I pop out that comment list, you can see now we're just seeing the comments by that particular user. And you can undo that by clicking up the top here and saying clear filter, and then all the comments come back. So these are the sorts of things that you can do inside of here when it comes to looking at your workflows and knowing where things are up to. Now, you would have noticed in that audit that we were able to nudge people, and there was an audit event for nudging and skipping and all of those things. So it's good to record those things in the audit. The way that you can do that is where you see a user who hasn't, they've seen the proof, but they haven't made a decision yet. If you click on the 3 dots over on the side here, then you'll have the ability to nudge and skip those people as well. So you can go through and do that if you need to do it. Up the top, there's an option here that says nudge all, and that will send nudges to those people who basically haven't looked at your proof just yet. So these are the sorts of things that you can do from a compliance point of view inside of PageProof. As I said, just to recap, using the checklists, the checklist will show up, and again, communal checklist, so that people can go through and are guided on exactly what they can do here. The number of items that you can put in these checklists is unlimited. So it's up to you on exactly what you need. You can attach that checklist item to the approve button so that when people go through, the approve button is not highlighted until all of those checklist items are checked. We have the info icon that if you scroll, you can see the workflow, you can see the decisions, and we've also got the audit at the top of the screen so you can see exactly what's gone on inside of your proof. So that is the PageProof Academy on checklists. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.